A warm welcome to Diplomatic Channel. I'm Amarachi Ubani. Congratulations are in order for two prominent Nigerians who recorded big wins on the international scene last week. First, Dr. Ngozi Okonjo-Iweala, who became the sole candidate in the race for the WTO Director General after the South Korean candidate, the South Korean Trade Minister Yo Myung-hee, dropped out of the race. And with U.S. support declared on Friday evening, Dr. Okonjo-Iweala is set to make history as the organization's first female and African Director General. Dr. Okonjo-Iweala later tweeted, "Grateful for the expression of support from the U.S. today for DGWTO. Congratulations to Madam Yo of Republic of Korea for a hard-fought campaign. Thank you, President Muhammadu Buhari and all Nigerians for your unflinching support. Thank you, friends. Love to my family. Glory to God." But later she said she would be finalizing the process of WTO Director General. Next, our congratulations go to Nigeria's former ambassador to Ethiopia, a career diplomat, Ambassador Bankole Adeoye, for winning the position of AU Commissioner for Political Affairs, Peace and Security. He garnered 55 votes, an outright majority, to win the position. We'll be talking some more about the AU Summit and Ambassador Bankole's win in a bit after a quick check on other discussions in diplomatic circles.
Await the distribution of vaccines.
Kenyan President Uhuru Kenyatta says it is imperative for the African Union to formulate plans on building a better and more resilient Africa in the post-pandemic era. The president made the call at the start of the two-day virtual 34th ordinary session of the Assembly of Heads of States and Government of the African Union.
We all agree that COVID-19 has devastated our economies and greatly impeded development of our countries. As we await the distribution of vaccines with a hope to return to normalcy soon, it is imperative that we start also to strategize as to how to build a better and more resilient Africa post-COVID-19.
Meanwhile, South Africa has halted the planned rollout of AstraZeneca's COVID-19 vaccinations after a study found that it gives minimal protection against mild infection from one variant, stoking fears of a much longer cat-and-mouse battle with the pathogen. The AstraZeneca vaccine was the big hope for Africa, as it is cheap and easier to store and transport than the Pfizer shot, making South Africa's move a major blow with sweeping implications for other regions. The United States will participate as an observer in the UN Human Rights Council, which it quit in June 2018 under the Trump administration while seeking reforms. That's according to U.S. envoy Mark Casey, who was speaking at a Geneva forum on Monday, February the 8th.
While recognizing the Council's flaws, we know that this body has the potential to be an important forum for those fighting tyranny and injustice around the world. By being present at the table, we seek to ensure it can live up to that potential.
Welcome back. The African Union held its first hybrid summit ever. The 34th summit was held in person in Addis Ababa and virtually due to COVID-19 restrictions. As from the weekend of February 6th, the African Union will be led by a mix of old and new guard. South Africa's President Cyril Ramaphosa, who had been the AU chair, gave his final speech in that position on Saturday. He reminded leaders of their responsibility in the face of a ravaging pandemic.
The task team has done outstanding work in both securing substantial quantities of COVID-19 vaccines and mobilizing financing so that all African countries can access vaccines for their people.
President Ramaphosa relinquishes his position as chair of the African Union to the Democratic Republic of Congo's President Felix Tshisekedi. Meanwhile, the position of chairperson of the African Union Commission will continue to be held by Moussa Faki Mahamat, the incumbent. He was re-elected. A short while after his election, he tweeted, "Deeply overwhelmed by the overwhelming and historic vote of confidence by AU member states by voting 51 out of 55 to extend my mandate at the helm of the AUC Commission for another 4 years. My congratulations to Dr. Monique Nsanza-Bagawa, who was elected as Deputy Chairperson. Together, we will. Mr. Musafaki is the first chairperson of the Commission to be re-elected. Ambassador Albert Muchanga was re-elected as Commissioner of Economic Development, Trade, Industry and Mining. Ambassador Josepha Sako was also re-elected Commissioner for Agriculture, Rural Development, Blue Economy and Sustainable Environment. Dr. Amani Abu Zaid was re-elected as Commissioner for Infrastructure and Energy. And saving the best for last, Nigeria's Ambassador Bankole Adeoye was elected AU Commissioner for Political Affairs, Peace and Security. It's a sensitive position in the African Union responsible for driving the formulation and implementation of political affairs, peace and security policies, the programs and strategies in line with the aspirations of Agenda 2063, the associated medium-term plans and other key continental legal and policy framework of the African Union. It's a position Nigeria has held before, but lost to Algeria 4 years ago. Ambassador Bankole Adeoye is a former member of the African and United Nations Economic Commission for Africa and was ambassador to Ethiopia and Djibouti between 2017 to 2020. The Minister of Foreign Affairs, Mr. Jeffrey Onyema, says with Ambassador Adeoye as AU Commissioner for Political Affairs, Peace and Security, the fight against terror in the ECOWAS sub-region will be strengthened. Now, could that be true? I want to bring in former ambassador to Ethiopia and a permanent representative to the AU and the UN Economic Commission for Africa. He's currently first national vice president, Association of Retired Career Ambassadors of Nigeria, ARCAN, and chairman, ARCAN Lagos branch. He's also a former director of the Institute for Security Studies in Addis Ababa. Ambassador Olusegun Akinsoya joins us now for some clarity. Ambassador, thank you for joining us on the program.
Well, thank you very much, Amarachi. Thanks for having me.
Let's begin with your thoughts on Ambassador Bankole Adeoye's election as AU Commissioner for Political Affairs, Peace and Security.
Thank you. A remarkable success for Nigeria. And you are very much aware of the role that Nigeria has played in the continental organization from the time of the OAU to the transformation to the African unity. And I must say, in congratulating Nigeria, that not only is it a significant development, but it's the third in this streak of diplomatic successes that Nigeria has had in the last few months. I'm talking about additional in the AFDB, and I'm talking also about Okonjo-Iweala as the first African and woman to head the WTO. And this now coming in the continental organization to which Nigeria has exerted a lot of diplomacy, a lot of resources, and this coming now, it's a significant victory for Nigeria. And having served in that organization and having seen Nigeria tested 2 times for this particular post, and we have not been successful. And I think now it is a big success for Nigeria. And what it means is that we have a career diplomat in the person of Ambassador Bankole Adeoye that has served as the permanent representative of Nigeria to the AU. He knows the terrain, and back to your question, it's a significant success for Nigeria. And also, ACAN, the Association of Retired Career Ambassadors, was involved in the process of the choice and then the execution, and which they mount robust campaign physically as part of the pandemic. So it's a success for us, and congratulations to Nigeria.
This is one of the most sensitive positions in the African Union, considering that the continent has been going through a lot politically and security-wise. What are your thoughts on the difference diplomats such as Ambassador Adeoye can make in the African Union in this position?
From inception, Nigeria is one of the countries that have continued to serve in the Peace and Security Council. And having somebody like Ambassador Bankole Adeoye, who was a former ambassador, and I must say a member of ACAN. He has also served in the past in NEPAD, Secretariat in South Africa. So he knows the terrain. He knows the terrain, and is also somebody, a well-grounded, competent, focused officer. And I believe that he's coming into the African Union, particularly at this time, after all the reforms, because this post that he has, the Commissioner for Political Affairs, Peace and Security, were originally two departments, Political Affairs and then Peace and Security. The African Union, and of course there was this clamor of the partners that complained seriously that commissioners need to know their onions. So the African Union set up an internal assessment process, of which Ambassador Adeoye came tops. He scored more than 80%, above any other candidate on this process. So that will tell you the type of person, the type of product Nigeria has to market. And the big lesson is that when you have a good product to market, the result is the sort of thing that we are getting. And there are quite a lot of Nigerians that are capable. So the lesson is that when we are putting people in positions, and if we put the round peg in the round hole, this is the sort of result and victory that we will get. And we are seeing it before our eyes.
And a lot is resting on his shoulders right now. The Minister of Foreign Affairs, Mr. Jeffrey Onyeama, already gave us an idea on some of the expectations when he told a reporter that having the ambassador in that position will strengthen Nigeria's fight against terror in the ECOWAS sub-region. How so?
Well, you see, Ambassador Adeoye came out with a robust campaign. And his vision of campaign is building a synergy for peaceful, secure, and democratic Africa, which is in line with the Agenda 2063 and the vision. And the Minister of Foreign Affairs, Jeffrey Onyeama, is right, because this is somebody with a vision. In fact, he also came out with his 5 pillars of strategy that was going to. So you can see that he's focused. The 5 pillars. He wants to bring back the issue of conflict prevention as part of the peace and security architecture, that Nigeria was a party to the establishment. Talked about C1, the Continental Early Warning System. He wants to bring back the issue of early warning to alert states about conflicts. He also wants to introduce the element of mediation and conflict prevention. He also talked about integrated capacity for effective conflict management, and in particular, countering terrorism, insurgency, and extremism. That is the relevance of the question that he brought in. I mean, here is somebody who has been involved. Here is somebody who knows the terrain. Here is somebody who knows the mood of member states. Here is somebody who knows the organizational and operational problems that the EU is facing.
Ambassador, I know we've talked about Nigeria's leadership on the continent before, and I know that you might disagree with me. concerning this, whether or not we may have lost, our leadership in the past few years. But can Nigeria lead the continent again like it used to in the, say, 70s and 80s?
Well, I don't agree with you that we have lost leadership. Yes, just like any country, Nigeria has had our own bit of challenges, but we are still to be reckoned with in a geopolitical, I mean, in a region, within ECOWAS, within Africa. And, yes, the ability to surmount these challenges is right on our doorsteps. And I believe that we will continue to play that leadership role that Nigeria has played over the years. One outstanding thing that came out, an example of that came out of this election, and is unprecedented, that the decision by the member states on Bankole Adeoye was unanimous. 55 votes, no abstention, no vote against. Does that tell you about the loss of leadership? I believe that the responsibility or the way that what Nigeria has done over the years and what we still continue to do, and within the context of the challenges that we have, the international situation, our resource flow situation because of the oil glut, and also the pandemic and all that. These are challenges, and the challenges, internal challenges of insurgency, of extremism, of banditry, and peace and security, and all that, and economic problems. But I believe that, that we continue to play that leadership role. I mean, look at our country. I mean, President Buhari is the champion for anti-corruption crusade in Africa. We are also doing a lot within the South African, the West African sub-region in terms of sharing experiences on how we cope with the pandemics and other policy issues. So I believe that, if you look also at the issue of trade, the issue of the role that we are going to be playing, that is the private sector and even non-state actors, in terms of giving examples, I believe that, yes, we have our challenges that we are addressing squarely. And I believe that we are able to surmount these internal stresses and internal challenges. Nigeria will bounce back to play the role to foster multilateralism and also to play a role in Africa, and particularly in the West African sub-region.
I want to note that politics is a pretty sensitive topic. He gave an address just before the AU summit, and he talked about, the restoration of the strengthening of ties between the U.S. and Africa through the Africa Union. What are the realistic ties that could be forged with the Biden administration?
President Joe Biden has sent in a lot of positive signals, not only in terms of his rainbow cabinet, so to speak, and also the fact that you have all shades of varieties within this cabinet. He has also spoken in terms of restoring, promoting multilateralism, return to the climate change accord, return to WHO, and the new signals that he has also now given to our own Kojo Iweala, in giving a very free ride into the WTO in terms of the opposition we have from his predecessor. He has also, by the choice of the people that will man the State House. I mean, we are African, there are some Africanists, and he has also said that he was going to work with the African Union. I think the signals are very positive, and there's nothing to believe that He would toe the line, the democratic regime would toe the lines of Trump. Economic, trade, and issues also, fighting the pandemic, the COVID pandemic, that is a big challenge. Being part of African prosperity. We now have the operations of the AfTA, the African Trade, Continental Free Trade Area that is operational. Nigeria will play a very important role, and we will need a very, very abiding partner like the United States. When you recall the experiences of AGOA, I don't think Joe Biden will see Africa as a cheat hole. So expectations is that they are likely to be positive, very positive overtures to Africa in terms of U.S.-Africa ties.
Ambassador Akinsoya, it's been a real pleasure speaking with you. Thank you again for joining us on Diplomatic Channel.
Thank you very much, Amarachi, for having me. Thanks.
And my last question to Ambassador Akinsoya had to do with U.S. President Joe Biden's address before the African Union held over the weekend, in which he promised stronger ties. This came a day after President Joe Biden made his first foreign policy address since assuming office.
America is back, diplomacy is back, declared U.S. President Joe Biden as he prepared to give his first foreign policy address. During the wide-ranging speech, he called on Myanmar's military junta to give up power and release recent political detainees, including Aung San Suu Kyi and President Win Myint. The country has, among other measures, shut down the internet as thousands of people joined the largest rally yet against Monday's coup.
The Burmese military should relinquish power they have seized, release the advocates and activists and officials they have detained, lift the restrictions on telecommunications, and refrain from violence.
President Biden then directed his attention to Russia, where he condemned the jailing of critic Alexei Navalny. He also said he told President Vladimir Putin during a phone call last week that the days of the United States rolling over in the face of Russian activities are over.
That's why yesterday the United States and Russia agreed to extend the New START treaty for 5 years to preserve the only remaining treaty between our countries safeguarding nuclear stability. At the same time, I made it clear to President Putin, in a manner very different from my predecessor, that the days of the United States rolling over in the face of Russia's aggressive actions, interfering with our elections, cyber attacks, poisoning its citizens, are over. We will not hesitate to raise the cost on Russia and defend our vital interest and our people.
He took a shot at China, whom he said the United States is willing to work with, but that the United States will confront China's economic abuses, counter its aggressive coercive action to push back on its attack on human rights, intellectual property, and global governance, and mention his executive order that begins the hard work of restoring the refugee admissions program to help meet the unprecedented global need.
Sorry about that.
Hours before White House National Security Advisor Jake Sullivan said the president will announce a new special envoy for Yemen and an end to U.S. support for the Saudi-led coalition's offensive operations in the country's civil war.
Set of issues that working families.
The move shows the president plans to intensify the U.S. diplomatic efforts to close out the grueling conflict between the Saudi-backed government and the Iranian-aligned Houthi movement that has created the world's worst humanitarian crises. A day before the 34th African Union Summit began, the U.S. president delivered a message to African leaders, saying the United States stands ready to be your partner.
But the United States stands ready now to be your partner in solidarity, support, and mutual respect. We believe in the nations of Africa, in the continent-wide spirit of entrepreneurship and innovation. And through the challenges ahead, although they're great, there is no doubt that our nations, our people, the African Union, were up to this task.
It was a message well received by the AU Commission Chair, Mr. Musa Faki Mohammed, who was re-elected at the summit. In a tweet, he said the African Union looks forward to resetting the strategic AU-USA partnership on the basis of mutual respect and shared values of international cooperation for a safer, healthier, and more just world.
This is where we end the program. Remember, your questions and comments are always welcome. You can reach me using any of the addresses showing on your screen. I'm Amarachi Ubani. I'll see you next time.